Secrets beneath the surface. Chapter 1. The beginning. Ruth had always been a cautious woman, but in 2016, her world was shattered. The love she shared with Jacob was built on trust, or so she thought. When she found out that she was infected with HIV, her heart sank, and a darkness began to envelop her soul. Jacob, her once beloved boyfriend, was the only possible source. Ruth's heartbreak turned to anger, then to a cold, calculated resolve. She reached out to Philip, her other lover, a man with a dangerous edge. She whispered her suspicions and pleaded for his help. Philip, driven by his own twisted sense of loyalty and perhaps a desire for Ruth's undivided affection, agreed to eliminate Jacob. Chapter 2. The First Burial. The night was pitch black when Philip carried out the deed. Jacob's screams were muffled by the thick walls of Ruth's house, his life ending abruptly in a fit of betrayal and confusion. Together, Ruth and Philip buried Jacob's lifeless body in a shallow grave in her backyard, hoping the earth would swallow their dark secret. Life moved on, or so it seemed. A year later, Philip moved in with Ruth and her two sons, now aged 17 and 11. The house, now a tomb of secrets, began to pulsate with an ominous energy. Chapter 3. Domestic Terror. Philip's presence, once a source of protection for Ruth, soon turned into a nightmare. The man who killed for her started to abuse her, both physically and emotionally. Ruth, trapped and desperate, saw no way out. She confided in her eldest son, now 17, the boy's eyes widening with a mix of fear and determination. They had to act. Mother and son conspired, their bond forged in the crucible of necessity and survival. One stormy night, they turned the tables on Philip. The house echoed with his dying cries as they buried him on top of Jacob, layering their secrets deeper into the ground. Chapter 4. The Corruption of Innocence. The following year, the weight of their actions began to corrode Ruth's son. At 18, he turned to drugs, seeking an escape from the horrors he had witnessed and participated in. His addiction became a new weapon, one he wielded against his mother. He demanded money, threatening to expose her if she refused. Ruth, cornered and desperate, saw only one way out. She planned once more, her mind now numb to the violence. Her son, high and oblivious, never saw it coming. His body joined the others, buried in the now cursed earth of their backyard. Chapter 5. The Last Witness. Ruth's youngest son, now 13, had seen too much. His health began to deteriorate, his mind plagued by the shadows of his family's sins. Ruth took him to a psychologist, hoping for a diagnosis that would absolve her of guilt. Instead, her son broke down, confessing everything in a torrent of guilt and fear. The psychologist, bound by duty, reported the confessions to the police. Ruth's life, built on a foundation of lies and blood, began to unravel. She was watched, investigated, and finally arrested. Chapter 6. The Fall. Yesterday, Ruth stood in court, the weight of her crimes crashing down upon her. The judge's gavel fell, sentencing her to life in prison. The house, once a home, now stood as a silent witness to the horrors buried beneath its surface. Ruth's name would forever be associated with the dark tale of betrayal, murder, and madness. Epilogue. Echoes of the past. The neighborhood, once quiet and unassuming, became infamous overnight. Ruth's story spread, a chilling reminder of how thin the veneer of normalcy can be. The house was left abandoned, whispers of its haunted past deterring any potential buyers.